The following podcast may contain spoilers.
Hello again, dear listeners. This is Jonathan Kinney, your host of Treading the Path of Heaven, joined by my co-hosts.
I'm Bill.
I'm Rich.
I'm Seth. Why
And
do I sound so sad to say my own name?
It was more of like the
Foghorn? Ba, ba.
it's like and then
it
you
was
float
following like a rhythm. It felt very natural when you did it.
And then I
so
fucked it
don't...
up by having this whole aside.
No. Bring attention to it. It's fine.
It's fine. We'll cut this out.
Yeah. Well,
We're not gonna cut this out.
no, we're not gonna cut this out. That's too much work.
those are the magic words to not cut a thing out.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
So would those be the magic words to automatically cut this out, or
No, because this is
the
this is
magic?
part of
Now
the
we've
conversation.
acknowledged it. Yeah, no, those.
Anyways, welcome to the Treading the Path of Heaven podcast.
Yeah, no. Yeah,
We cover web novels and light novels and translated literature,
All for you.
all for you.
mostly for us, a little bit for you.
Yeah, it's largely for me. This is
We read a lot of books.
I just want to talk about shit, and I don't have a good excuse to.
I say we, like I've
I
included.
mean, we literally talked about this before we recorded,
chapters.
and now we're talking about it here.
Yeah, no, we couldn't wait to talk. Like, we knew that in like 30 minutes we were going to start recording this, and yet we couldn't stop just like chatting about it.
Oh yeah.
But no, this week I'm actually pretty excited about this book. I don't know whether or not it's a good book. I really like it. But
I'm weird here, right? I remember reading this because, good old quarantine happened. He's like, you should read Skog. I'm like, sure, let's do it. And I started reading it, and the whole time I'm on Discord, live tweeting on the Discord, live messaging on Discord. What is happening? This novel is the definition of a schizophrenic book to me, okay?
Yeah.
It's both amazing and awful. It's Schrodinger's book, guys. Like, you don't know until you open the book whether the part's going to be terrible or great.
Yeah, no. It's very jarring. And sometimes they're interwoven. Sometimes an awesome thing is happening while a shitty thing is happening, and the cool thing is good enough that you're like, whatever, I'm just gonna ignore that thing.
I'll let this fly. But then sometimes you'll have like 40 chapters of just shit. Just garbage. And then the game, and they'll be like, oh, you want to quit? Guess what? I'm going to inject like 20 cc's of awesome directly into your veins. And that's been my experience with Second Coming of Gluttony.
And that's my point, is that I'm excited to talk about it because, regardless of your opinions on its quality or lack thereof, it's a book that it's getting me, I want to tell people about it. I want to fucking talk to people about it. I want to see what people think about this book because it's like out there. It's different a little bit.
It is. It's not quite, it's Korean, right? It's super Korean, right? But
Yeah.
it's not really the system, right? Like, it's not the system.
Yeah, because there's a game system, but it's more like it's only a system because the gods do it. Like, it's basically more like the people who are there's way of mentally capturing the jobs people do. Like, it's just like, yeah, you're an archer, so I know that's important because it's important for a person to, on a snap, be able to determine what your abilities are, because otherwise our entire group that everyone operates under is going to die.
Yeah, but like not archer. Everyone can walk their own path, or you can walk paths that have already been walked. But also, like, okay, so it's isekai, but not.
Yeah, like
It's like when you die in the game, you die in real life, but you don't because you lose memory, which makes you want to kill yourself.
Yeah, that's fun.
So, look, it sounds like you guys are confused about how to describe this. So let's reach out to novel updates for their description. He was an addict, a loser, a despicable human being. But one fleeting dream that may not have been a dream at all reawakens his once lost senses.
All right, so if he was an Akiko, this is a Japanese story. Otherwise, it's Korean. All right, continue.
Possessing a very unique ability, he would use that and the dream to forge his path in the world now known as the Lost Paradise.
The son of God Gula has returned.
I was lost in the world of gambling. I turned my back on my family and even betrayed my lover. I wasted every day of my life. It was a life of trash. The reality told me thus, that I would amount to nothing no matter what I did. In order to change my pathetic life, I chose fantasy instead.
Holy crap. The main character of this book is just Kaiji. It's just Kaiji if someone gave him a chance to start a new life in another world with superpowers.
Yeah.
Even then...
Like, literally, step for step, what he would do. He is literally that kind of stupid, optimistic...
Gambler's Apocalypse Kaiji.
Like if Kaiji and Kinchi became one person.
Holy shit. Alright, continue, sorry.
Even then, it was the same story. I wondered if salvation would come at the end of the long road. But I was forced to kneel down in defeat in front of a powerful entity. The tower I built up with my own hands crumbled into nothingness. Just for once, I dearly wish to know the truth about myself.
Come closer, my child.
I will not hold back this time.
That was just a lot of, like, quotes and, like,
So
narrating
I'm
parts
gonna be real.
that seemed appropriate.
Most of that is irrelevant. Most of that does not matter. The majority of that does not. Gula
Most of that
matters,
is
kinda.
chapter 1.
Gula matters, kinda. So the way this shit frames, right? You got a dude who's a gambling addict, right? But it frames it behind shit. The ending plays out in the beginning of this novel.
Yeah,
A bad ending.
it is both a, like... It's like a reincarnator novel, but it's not. It's an isekai novel, but it's not. It's a transmigrator novel, but it's not.
So, Tales, Demons, Gods, but it's not.
Basically,
But
it is, except like he doesn't have memories.
He has visions that morph into his own natural ability that he was born with. Because it starts off weird. It starts off a little kid has his head touched by seemingly someone greater than everyone around him. He's only ever seen the world in shades of green, right? It's always been green. The world's been green. He is on a trip on a safari, and he sees for the first time in his life something that isn't green. And it is a male lion that's approaching the bus they're in, watching, and it growls at him like it would kill him if he comes too close. It's the first thing, like, that thing in itself was the only thing around him that's ever been, quote unquote, not green. And it's basically framing it so that green is safety, right? Green is safety. Anything not green, you don't know what that shit is at all.
Yeah, it could be risky. It could be a super great opportunity.
But it's not safe.
But it's not safe.
Yeah, so he uses that power in the casino because he's like, he watches shit for green, and anything that isn't green, he would bet on. It's either going to be good or bad. Those are the only options you have available.
It's not going to be a middling play, though. So he goes in with a set amount of money, and he gambles on those opportunities until he wins big once for the day, or loses all his money, and then he leaves and comes back in the day. So he's basically winning on expected value in the casino.
But here's the thing. Suddenly, the green color goes away, and he becomes not so much addicted to gambling, but addicted in doing anything he can to get the color to come back.
So, like, gambling was one of the main ways he interacted with it, so he kept trying to gamble. He kept trying to find that power again, because, like, that power dictated his choices throughout his entire life. Like, he was a successful, very good person with, like, a very attractive fiance and good prospects and a good job.
Thanks to the color.
He assumed, like, on his way to getting a good job because of his connections and, like, plenty of money. All because of these things that he was able to do because of the color, because he pushed it too hard gambling one day.
It blew out.
It just blew out and he couldn't do it anymore. And then, like, because he didn't have that power, then he did become addicted to gambling.
And he ruined all of his relationships with his family.
He started, like,
significant other.
Like, lying to steal money from them.
Selling his little sister's car.
Just, like, begging. Like, just, like, actually begging over and over again. Like, lying that he had, like, told the casino to ban them. Like,
but it's cool. He gets to go to paradise this time. Well, he was about to get recruited as a slave to go to paradise, right? A contractor. But
build the underground.
He got lucky because in the beginning of this, before we got the color shit, there's a flashback to a guy wielding a spear savagely and fighting the good fight. And dying.
Yeah. Losing. But, like,
Viciously,
obviously at the end, like, this,
him.
he did not let him die. He did not die easily. They paid a cost to kill this man.
like the world is ruined because of what he does. And then God, I believe it's Gula. I think it's Gula. We're not sure
it is.
which
I'm
God
almost
it was.
positive it is. I'm almost positive.
It could be Lust.
It could be, but like I'm like 99% sure it's Gula.
Like I remember the conversation between Gula and Lust is like, that's my child too. And the way she would rub his head is the same way the person when he's a baby rubbed his head.
Yeah, I don't fucking know. I'm sure we will eventually. But regardless, one of the gods of this realm, you see, like, it pans over from his defeated self, and you see, like, some of the royalty of the land.
Who's, by the way, dying as well.
Also dying. They have lost this battle. And a god talking to him, and the guy's like, I wish I could, like, go back and, like, do this the right way.
Send me back 10 years.
And she's like, you've done
impossible.
a lot, but, like, not nearly enough.
You don't have enough achievement points to do that, yo.
The basic idea of this world is that, like, there are deities on both sides, but unless it has been earned by the people asking for the favor, doing something directly gives the other side the ability to do that much as well.
Okay.
Also, like, doing cool stuff like donating money on behalf of your god. So, let me start it from the beginning, the way this growth system works. You grow via the gods. Your personal work and the gods acknowledging your achievements. You can do that naturally up to rank 4. From rank 4 forward, you need a certain amount of achievement points achieved to become a rank 5. And you also need to proclaim your dedication to a god.
Yeah, you have to be like, I worship this god, and this god will now sponsor me moving
And
forward.
as you go up in ranks from that forth, not only are you paying tribute to your god is also, you start to more emulate your god. Like, example, our main character wanted to be could be a magician, but he became a warrior. And warriors follow one of two gods, Gula being one of them, the goddess of gluttony. He likes to eat, and things he cooks are really fucking good because it is the traits of the god of gluttony.
He makes instant ramen, and people, like, fucking kill themselves trying to get it. Because, like, he's like, I just followed the directions on the back of the thing. And, like, and he does. He's not doing anything special because he's, like, gluttony blessed.
But
He just
he
imbues
doesn't
it.
realize that, so in his mind, he's like, man, when I get out of here, I'm gonna open up a shop. Yeah.
It's so easy. Why are you guys doubting them? They're the ones that made it. They know how to make it best.
No,
You
like,
follow the directions.
I love that trope. It's like it's like in Shield Hero whenever he eats the berries that are supposed to poison people, and it's just like, what? I'm just eating berries, and other people eat the berries and just, like, get drunk instantly.
Oh, yeah. He has such ridiculous constitution that he has to eat the actual thing to make the alcohol. But this shit is great.
But going back to the beginning thing, and after touching on that kind of growth system, the print, like, he asked for the god to do this, and the god was like, nah, dog, you've done so much, but not that much. I can't even send, like, memories back or, like, emotions back for you.
Send is maybe like that's when the royalty is like, he's the only one of these fucking earthlings that showed up for us. The only one. I'm dying. I want to trade my royal decree to make his dream happen.
Yeah, basically, the gods were so worried that the royalty of the world, the gods were like, hey, royalty, we're fucked. Like, legit, like, super we've lost this war unless we do something, so we're gonna have to call in reinforcements from another world. We will give you guys, the royalty of the world, like, gifts and these particular privileges if you will let us call in shitbags from the other world.
And they have to follow what you say, or they won't get blessings from us. Keep in mind,
That's a pretty fun system.
only the 7 deadly sins are left as gods on this planet for humans. Because the actual god, because remember, they were born in pairs. Chastity and lust are sisters.
Yeah, and
Only lust is left right now.
the people they're fighting have already killed the good half of the gods.
And the chief deity. She's already killed the chief deity and absorbed it.
Like, they're in a bad spot from start one.
Sounds like, yeah.
And not only that, like, the person they're fighting is, like, a fucking fate spinner. Like, she reads the future.
Through the constellations.
The way she fights things is not like, I'm going to make the logical decision. She looks and she's like, that's a potential threat. I'm going to kill this with extreme prejudice.
I'm going to
when it's rank 1.
Manipulate fate to make sure this star never blooms. These constellations never form.
So she just cuts out MCs before.
Her whole war has been killing MCs at rank 1 and 2.
Yeah. Just like, this star is going to be grand. This is an aside. There's a thing that our star that we follow, Seojiu, has managed, because he was a dying star that was being protected by a bigger constellation, specifically the constellation of Lust, and the stars around him are protecting this dead star. He's like a white dwarf, a star that is already burnt out and is dying, and people are trying to reignite it. So that's the star that the Parasite Queen sees. And as we're reading it, and we're getting flashbacks to the alternate timeline, we're seeing the star reignite, and you see why the Queen is so afraid of this one fucking dude. But the gods are also working with him too, and letting him understand the consequences of his actions, because the gods are legit gods, right? Like, they see all timelines, they see all points in time, and they can't interact too much, because if they voice the future, the Queen, who has the powers of the chief deity and all of the gods they killed, will see it and fuck them over and kill the stars they brought into the planet.
So, like, this current one, that's the current Gluttony that we know, is aware that a failed timeline sent back the emotions of that person back to the person that he's feeling.
Back to her child again.
And he's just like, oh, wow, this is actually interesting. Let's see what fucking happens here. But, like, yeah, the princess trades her fucking royal privilege for the right to send his memories back to him in the past, because he fucking stood up and actually did the thing he was supposed to do, unlike almost every other Earthling who views this, like, to everyone who's not the main character, it is almost an isekai or a system game, because most people view it as a game that they can go play.
Like a game, and they're treating these people who are real people. These aren't NPCs.
Oh god.
These are people.
Verifiably real people.
World.
I despise that trope. Like, I get it. Like, I fucking love Praise the Orc, because it was just like, nah, the NPCs are people too kind of stance. But, like, fucking they're people, goddammit.
No, these aren't, but, like, they're told, you're going to another world. You only get to live and go back to your planet when you die and lose memories, because the gods are giving you protection. Because your soul's not from here. But these are people. But there's people who come to this world and they do terrible things, like child, like pedophilia and human trafficking and crazy, awful shit.
Yeah, it's great, because it is very, very quickly apparent that the villains of this story, other than, you know, the literal bug, evil, nightmare Parasite Queen.
By the way, Parasite Queen, secretly best girl. People just don't realize it.
Yeah, no. Parasite Queen Uni.
Like, I am bonkers for the Parasite. I'm all about some Parasite Queen, okay?
She's playing it better. She's deserves this win. Game.
She deserves to win.
Infest my grand deity.
And she does. She does infest people. She can convert stars.
Yeah, no, she's, like, I don't understand how she really loses, because she's, like, already won. She's a necromancer. She's a bug. Like, she not only is, she's like the Zerg, but also infest your corpses, so fuck you. If the Zerg were also necromancers.
Well, the Zerg was necromancers, and also, she could play politics and manipulate people who've been dealt wrong by humanity and Earthlings and company, because also it's a corporate aristocracy there, because the Earthlings that showed up realized that I can exploit this place for money and set up corporations and companies to do it.
Yeah, and
so
like,
also it's like a
to the point where, like, royal organizations have, like, royal corporates, like, corporate representative is like an official, like, government position.
And the corporations rebelled against the royalty before, so they had to set up new rules, and they got to intervene, because this is a corporate apocalypse. Apparently, this is also a corporate apocalypse, too.
It's so fucked. Like, they're so fucked. It's so great.
Like, America has several corporations. Korea has several corporations. Like the medicine potions. Like, what they do is they take potions from paradise, They use achievement points to convert it and bring it with them back to planet Earth. Then they mix it, they dilute it like 1 to 100 scale and sell it as new medicine on planet Earth to deal with issues or study energy stuff and all this other shit.
And then they use the money that they earn on Earth to like further their organizations and then feed back into their paradise
feed back
dealings.
into paradise. Or find people to recruit as contractors who are slaves that are forced to follow your contracts.
Is this Pod VR? Like what?
Bruh,
No, it's like go
this
to a
is
place
real.
and like you're now go through a portal and you're in the other world.
Oh,
Like,
it's
the
not like
gods
get on a
are-
plane. Okay.
Like fooling your body entirely there.
See, I was thinking it was more of a like once you're there till you're dead. I didn't think there was like a bunch
No,
of
you go back and forth.
In fact,
as
they
much as you
highly
want.
encourage. It's a job. This is literally a job. You sign a contract.
They don't want you staying there as long as you want because the people end up like Seoji who become paradise addicts and they treat this world more like their real life than the other world. And get
So they don't want
lost.
you to
And
like
they literally
sleep there.
can't handle being back on Earth again. And they'll have like the old man be like, Seo, Jiu, I need you. Please. For me, go home for 2 weeks. Go home. Talk to your people. Go to this location, eat food here. I need you to be a person. This can wait. Yes, we need to protect paradise. Yes. I get you love paradise. You need to leave.
You need to remember that Earth is your home, and this is your job.
There's also face worse than hell. Being infected by the parasites and not being chosen by them means you'll never ever be able to go home. Like, the parasite queen won't let you die, which means you won't get force kicked back to your body, which means you're there forever until someone kills you.
You're in prison.
But like we were talking about earlier, we kind of briefly touched about it. But like the gods also, if you die, you come back to Earth, and they wipe all of your memories of paradise. And the more time you spend in paradise, the more of a fucking up your mind that does. So like
Giant gaps gone.
not like most of the people that die in paradise kill themselves because of the mental the mental inconsistencies that happen when they come back. The things they can't remember.
Unless they die on a technicality in paradise. That's a thing that happens. There's a technicality that happens in the tutorial.
There's like a safe time, basically, like until you've actually like gone into the world, you're still like under the gods' protections in a different amount, and there's plot points that deal with that.
By the way, the system in this thing super dope, super real, and everything has to follow it, including the gods. But it's not really a system. It's just like the world's rules are just so, like I said, there's so much cool shit in this story, right? But there's also bad shit. Well, example, really bad harem garbage.
Oh god, it's not. It's bad.
Like really bad harem garbage.
Oh man, no. Now that you're saying these words, I guess we're gonna have to crack open some genre savvy.
Oh, Bill's doing it this
shit.
time. I did last time.
Oh shit! There's
This is a good job.
the genre says action, adventure, drama, fantasy, harem, mature,
Yes.
psychological romance, seinen.
No, the dude is like DXD level titty lover.
Oh, boost!
And the executor of lust, who people assume should be a giant whore, who isn't. She's actually really cold blooded, except for Seoji, who she somehow knows. So I think it's like my theory. I've been saying this straight up. That's his ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, no, it
fiancé.
absolutely 100% is.
It 100% is, right?
If it is not, it is. They have pulled me along.
have-
Congratulations, your
Fuck.
misdirect has gotten me.
But they introduced the spear queen, whatever, the bait Jiu. She might be it too, because she's super soft on him for some reason.
no, I don't.
It could be they fighting over him,
Everyone is for
Yeah,
no. Well,
yeah,
okay,
except for Maria,
honestly,
except for Maria.
there's good reasons.
except for Maria.
Well, Maria's fighting over his wallet.
All right, so we have a couple of things: caring protagonist, charismatic protagonist, clever protagonist.
He's not charismatic.
dense protagonist.
Flat
Yes.
out.
Dance is
Incorrect.
good. He's
not charismatic.
he's not stupid, but he's that kind of like
Naive?
dense that comes out of like being taught the world wrong. Because this girl, like his ex-girlfriend, he was
and
so
her
dense
mother,
that both
and
his
his
mother and his
mother.
ex-girlfriend just conspired to teach him about the world wrong so that they would end up fucking and they'd get trapped up together.
Oh yeah, no. They have flashbacks to discover why he's the way he is, and he's just been entrapped since he was like 3.
But he keeps making girls think, like, he's very forceful in the ways that he acts with girls. Like, he'll just, like, walk in their bed and start, like, giving them underwear and, like, falling asleep next to them. Or, like,
massages, because this is what he was taught, how you interact with women.
Because his mother is like, oh, yeah, that's how you treat a woman. Go do that with her right now. That's a normal thing to do for 3 hours in your room. Go do it.
These girls, he does these girls, and he's seducing these girls. And they're like, they straight back, do you, like, are you doing this because you like me? And he's like, yeah, I like you. You're a great tool. You're a great teammate.
Like, that's what he means unsaid. But, like, that same misconception has happened with, like, 7 girls.
And they're all incredible beauties and also incredible talents, like world earth-shattering talents.
There's literally a group of 6 girls known as the 6 Crazies.
And he has 5 of the 6 right now.
Well, I mean, gotta round out the collection.
But they're all also ridiculous. All of them are ridiculous. All of them.
Some of which we haven't known how ridiculous until, like, the last, like, 20 chapters.
The scale of how powerful Agnes is, and you meet Agnes in the beginning, right? And she's like, I'm going to turn him into... This is my child. I'm going to turn him into a diamond.
Yeah, no, she definitely is the first one that discovers, like, the diamond then the rough, sort of. There's Kim Hannah, but that's, like, different.
Oh, Kim Hannah is also incredible. And you don't realize just how incredible she is.
The most terrifying bureaucrat.
She became rank 5, and her special class is Con Man. All right, of conning people.
Yeah, her main job is literally, like, recruiter. She spends most of her time in Earth conning people into being slaves for the people in paradise. Because there's also, like, there's ways that if there's people that actually have talent, they can be invited, basically. And that's one of the major plot points of the book, because when that original future version we had was a person that came in through a slave contract, because he was basically doing it to pay off gambling debts.
Yeah.
When he got his memories back, when that happened, he got the colors back.
Like, it made it so much... It didn't fix his mana circuits. It just rerouted them. He got some of the colors back, but he also got the future vision. And he didn't get complete memories. He got partial memories of the things that had happened. Right?
And also a couple other colors, because it turns out green wasn't the other color you could only see. It was the only color he had unlocked at the time.
I guess that would lead to eye powers.
His favorite color is gold.
It's because it represents a golden opportunity.
The golden commandment. You, of course, you know the golden rule. Do unto others, others do unto you. Yeah. And he chooses from that point forward, this is how I'm going to live my life forever. I'm going to treat people the way I want to be treated. Or if they treat me poorly, I'll viciously kill them. Because this is the way I treat things.
And he holds that, like, to faith. But that's because...
wield the golden rule like a sword.
That's because the first golden thing he sees is Kim Hannah.
Yeah. It's
the recruiter.
It's actually super metal, because you also see the alternate future of Kim Hannah, where, like, she gets fucked over by everyone, and then the Parasite Queen sees that she's a powerful star, and then corrupts her, and then turns her into a monster that brings about the ending of the planet.
Yeah, she's, like, literally one of the major villain players, and, like, that's one of the cool things about this book, is because, like, you get all these visions of, like, how things, like, the reasons why things went the worst possible way.
Oh, I get it. It's Dark Cloud.
Yeah.
It's Dark Cloud.
Yeah.
It's as beautiful and wonderful as Dark Cloud is.
Yeah, kind of. It is a fantastical story. Like, the surroundings and the world building are so fucking interesting.
But then you have really dumbass shit. Okay, all right. So people who read this novel, please get to chapter 126, and then you'll feel it. You'll feel it in your bones that this is a good novel. Oof. Once you get to chapter 126.
I'm so sorry. How long are the chapters?
They're not that long.
They're pretty standard length.
They're standard length, right? You can get there. And, like, it's not bad in the beginning. The training parts are great, right?
Yeah.
But his interactions with certain characters, like, you get caught up on the fact that he treats most of these women and men hilariously terrible. Like, not great, right? He's not a good person, right? He demands from people. He expects that the golden rule, I think he misinterprets what the golden rule is, because he expects that since I've done myself what I've done in the golden commandment, I expect you in return to lay down your life for me. Yeah. And I don't think that's reasonable. That's a bit extreme. The golden commandment is treat others as you want to be treated, but doesn't mean treat others well so they die for you at the drop of the hat. That's a misinterpretation of it.
I mean,
I'm not sure how you could interpret it like that. That's a real weird interpretation.
well, I mean, like if he's willing to lay down his life for them.
Yeah.
I mean, but is he really? Is it really people giving their all? Like the problem I have with Tim as a character is because he's basically done this before. He has a few ace in the holes, right? And those ace in the holes are called future vision.
Oh wow!
And when future vision takes over,
He can see the
He
future.
basically gains a lot of the potential he had at like the end of his life in the old life.
I see.
Okay.
So he sees what he will become.
yeah, and his body gets to use it, kind of like awakening. Like,
That's
oh
like-
man, you're a rank 2, using the powers of a rank 8. There's only like 2 of those that exist, so like you could do that.
It's kind of
At
like
great cost, but mind you, great cost.
Yeah.
But it also means he gets to, because of his eyes, the 7 eyes, the colors he can see, and when it pairs with future vision, he can see danger. He can see that when things can kill you. There's been places in this story where he literally it was like an episode of I Shouldn't Be Alive. He's only alive because he's eye and future vision cheating. He knows if I go up here, it's gonna kill me, guaranteed, 100% of the time.
Perfect.
He assumes that this is going to be much more of like a cheat-like ability than it is when he starts. And not to say that it's not good, because it is very good, and he starts to use it very effectively, even more so as it goes on in the novel. But like, there's a part early on where he's like, oh, this is a yellow thing? Well, yellow's not that much more dangerous than green.
Hold up.
But it like really, really fucking is. Like he goes in, he's like, well, if this is yellow, then I should be able to easily do it.
What
so
does
he
yellow
goes in.
mean?
Warning.
Yeah, it means
Just
like
straight up warning. Okay.
Yeah.
Red means, what is it, retreat immediately?
Yeah, red means retreat immediately.
And black is
Black is like, get the fuck out, holy shit.
get out
Yeah, okay.
now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
yeah. And yellow is like a slip on floor sign. There is danger.
Yeah, that's what he assumes. And then he goes in, and like literally, it's almost like the first floor of tutorial is too hard. Like arrows flying at him, immediately skeletons exist trying to like murder him. He barely pulls some shit out of his ass to survive.
Yeah, he got lucky, right? Lucky, like, it was only yellow. The only reason it wasn't red or black was because he had the one item that would cheese dislocation.
Yeah.
And he didn't know, it required knowledge foremost, but his eyes, because they're powered by the universe, the eyes don't tell him what he needs. It just says that you have the capability of doing it.
Yeah, it's yes or no answers for the question only. Like, what you do with it and how you use those questions up to you. Nah, I get it. Fucking love this guy's powers.
That's super good.
It's pretty great, yeah.
And he also gets to the point where another issue I have where he goes, I don't want to use this. I want you to choose not to use this hack power to save my life thousands of times. I just don't want to use it because I
relying
don't
on it
like
too much.
fate. I don't like causality. I over rely on it. You're only alive because you rely on it.
Yeah,
like
you know it's a provable thing. It's like whenever you like have gods that exist in the world that have shown up physically to people, and then you have like other people who are like, yeah, I don't believe in the gods. Like, nah, man, like
they definitely exist.
You should.
yeah, like
You've seen it.
there's no belief in this system. There's like, I don't know.
Yeah. You either believe the well, I guess there is belief. There are people that have seen it, and you could think that they are crazy. I suppose.
Yeah, but like,
Nah, man, the gods like talk to you and shit. They have personalities. They
like,
know each of
he's
these like
had-
earthlings on like individually.
He's had conversations like the gods know everybody, every earthling that comes. You're their child. They can see the constellation. Like the deities know you exist, know what you're capable of, can see the webs of fate. They also give access to certain. That's what executors are. Executors are like weapons of the gods. They also like represent pieces of the gods, but also they are people who have the right to resist against causality, resist against fate. They have an ability where their stars aren't just stuck, trapped in their fate. They can move between it if you work hard enough or you do things that affects the future.
A lot of the future stuff that in like the constellations is a lot of like intimation and hints and stuff that may or may not be red herrings. So we'll see how that goes as this translation gets completed. But
I mean, like, this is a thing that happens in the future, and it's a little bit of a spoiler, But there's a situation that happens near chapter 126 where because the ripple effects of the actions he took during 126 changed the fate of the future forever. And by fate of the future, like whole areas, like a city named Eva, there's a person who is really important, like huge amount more backstory than some characters this person has. And she just fucking dies right there, right? Just, and the way she dies, you think, oh, that was nobody who just died there.
No.
That was an important person that was not supposed to die and only died because our character with Future Vision did some shit that wasn't supposed to happen. Or spared some people that shouldn't have been spared because of his commandment that in the original timeline didn't get spared.
So he's constantly just fucking with causality, like.
I mean, that's what the gods want him to do.
I mean, that's the gist of the story, because like inherently that's what the story's about. Because our first story was how causality should have been, so everything in this story is interfering with causality.
Yeah, okay.
But because he did that, the world, I guess, in the short term, was worse for his actions. Because the place ended up getting. Imagine you in a situation where you go back in time and you do some shit to kill Hitler, but like it kills Martin Luther King too.
It's a Future Man situation.
Yeah, Future Man, like it's this whole story is butterfly effect.
Yeah, it's the Futterman effect.
Futterman effect.
Yeah, no, it's the butterfly effect, but it's people that are masterminds that are actually like calculating and intentionally using the butterfly effect to shape the future they want.
Like they skip rocks at the butterfly to make it dodge left instead.
That is exactly.
That's why the Parasite Queen is so cool, right? Like you don't get to see her often, but when you do, like she's doing some super like. The Parasite Queen is a competent person surrounded by incompetence.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, honestly.
Like
her only weakness is that she can never find good help, and she tries so fucking hard. She has people that should be good help that just somehow manage to choke at the crucial moment.
It's Dr. Mrs. the Monarch then.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that sounds like Dr. Mrs. the Monarch.
Incredibly competent person surrounded by a gross sea of incompetence.
She even selected incompetence too. Those fucking
true.
Those pupa twins are just dicks.
But like the Queen, Parasite Queen isn't even like, it's not like Dr. Mrs. Monarch where she's making like the probable best selection, the best choice, probable. This is what we do. And still
No, dude, no, it's frustrating from her point of view, right? Like all right, guys, I'm just gonna pull the trigger now. We're gonna like kind of, if you want to read this book, you should stop because we're just gonna have to talk about this series.
So like a mini nights.
Like cool episode. Reach out to us on @TigerCoaster on Twitter. Come join our Discord. Okay, so
James,
episode's done
Yukio
for
Kami.
those. Yeah, James and
thanks,
Yukio
James,
Kami.
Yukio
Okay.
Kami.
Now
really.
into the episode for regular old people who like the show as we do it. Now it's
We
time
really
for
appreciate you and love you, and we'll see you when you finish reading the book.
now it's time
if
for
you don't
people
care
who
about
like
the book,
Yeah.
It's time for
or if you already read it.
the sun's gone down, and it's time for nights.
Nights.
I can't believe it did that. But yeah, no, we have to talk about like all the full bullshit that goes on.
Yeah, because this is the only way to explain this schizophrenic book, okay?
full bullshit.
I'm just going to jump in and talk about what's happening with Twisted Kindness and Raging Temperance right now, right? All right, so there's the wars going on, right? The war, if they win in the real war world, they win the war.
So, the Queen has made a master stroke. First things first, she noticed, hold up, the star that should be dead just reignited. And all the people around it, all the stars that should be relevant, the stars that should have burned out, like the Star of Lust, the Star of Sloth, all these people are forming around it. I need to take care of this being when it leaves this plane and leaves the protection of its gods.
So she literally goes and she makes like a fork where the one fortress that's really keeping humanity and the paradise and earthlings even having a little bit of a chance is on the side of their sort of allies, the like
Slash
Beastman
enemies.
Federation.
That we fucked over, by the way. The humans fucked them over several times, by the way.
Yeah, they don't trust that, like, they made a call almost out of desperation, literally, because they don't trust that humans would ever go to help them.
Their world tree has just died randomly. Well, it's not random. The Parasite Queen took them out.
Yeah,
Took it out.
Yeah, the Parasite Queen took out the world tree in the spirit realm, which is largely what powers the fortress that they're trying to defend. So, like, if they do nothing, she has won.
Yeah,
It's over.
doesn't matter what he does.
Fuck.
They win.
If he goes to the battlefield, it doesn't matter. There's no defensive position. There's no way that they can outweigh her army.
All they can do is lose slower.
Jesus.
And she knows that this guy is going to go fucking deal with this problem. So she hard reads that. The correct answer to do that would be to put one of her 7 army commanders, although he's already killed one at this point.
Yeah, one of them. But she made a second one, but no one knows about that.
And that's going to be terrifying.
Oh, that guy.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Holy shit. But she, not only does she send the full brunt of her army to Tiger Fortress, just knock it out, like the dwarves are dropping thunder, doesn't matter. We got we got zombie armies, vampire armies, death, it doesn't matter.
She prepares this entire organization and triggers it on the moment he leaves the real
As
world.
soon as he vanishes into the spirit realm,
Shit.
she triggers it. And not only does she cover it, she sends her strongest general there. A person who could take her whole other army by itself, that absorbed a full divinity, because most people can't absorb a whole divinity.
Yeah,
They're not
they absorb
gods.
as much as they can, and then they take the rest and they put it into troops.
She's the last dragon. She has no troops. She has the whole divinity. She's untouchable, basically. Sends her in, and there's another. There's two.
There is the spirit-based commander. So the spirit-based commander in its natural territory,
it's like
dominating everything, and then the last dragon who's fully absorbed the powers of a god.
So like they're doomed. Even if they had executors there, they can't win, right? This is not something you just casually win. And somehow he plot armors his way through. It's not.
Every single thing is
up.
like written and set up, and it is a confluence of fucking coincidences that have been intentionally foreshadowed.
He had the Arca spirit, which
he has a
is
phoenix.
broken because he saved Floan, because the Golden Commandment saved his life later. The Golden Commandment, because of Floan, she is a
He rescues
spirit,
a murder ghost.
It's a murder ghost, and she really is just a murder ghost. She is queen of resentment, ridiculous murder stuff. But she was the daughter that was sacrificed from the empire that fell hundreds of years ago, and she has all of their stuff. So one of the promises as royalty she has with the old god of chastity, who happens to be Raging Temperance's divinity he absorbed.
Yeah.
Well, so she had to deal with chastity, but the deal she made with chastity affects all of the gods.
So
Temperance.
I think we're running into a problem right here of you're just saying words.
Okay, so as I said before, there was the gods and the chief deity, the seven, they have the 7 sins.
There were 14 gods based on the
Raging Temperance.
So Raging Temperance
is one of the armies.
is a corrupted version. So what happened is the Parasite Queen murdered all of the quote unquote good gods, right?
Okay.
Chastity, temperance.
Yeah, and then took their divinities to make her army.
To make her army. So she took mortals that she's corrupted and turned into her parasite army, and gave the strongest of them the divinity to absorb, to become the leaders of her 7 armies. So they're all basically walking gods. When they unleash their divinity, they are gods. Because they're mortal frame, they can't hold the divinity very long without the drawback of using it, right?
Yeah.
Basically, to this point in history, like, the armies are so strong that 2 armies showing up to a single battle guarantees defeat.
Yeah. And that happened, this happens before, and keep in mind, there was more sides than just the 3 that are left here. There was the Federation is the other group that isn't humanity, right? Humanity has the 7 gods that are left on this plane, and the Earthlings, right? And that's how they're able to survive. The Federation is a bunch of alien invaders and natural residents here. So dwarves, which had their own empire before they got it fucked by the parasite.
Fairies.
Beastmen, fairies, sky fairy, cave fairies, and all these people are joining. The Beastmen Alliance joined into the Federation because they got attacked by 2 of the armies, and no one came to help them. And one of our executors that went to go help them got betrayed from inside by humanity and Earthlings and the corporate aristocracy and the manipulations of the Parasite Queen. So he got abandoned and viciously murdered and torn to pieces. And it, like the things they did to his body, they're afraid to talk about in the book. Like,
Fuck, man.
And things are brutal in this book. Like, deaths are brutal in this book. Like,
Yeah, no, like one of the first deaths in the book is like a person trying to save someone and their top half being pulled into a pit while the people that are holding onto her legs all fall back with just the legs and the entrails spewing out.
yeah,
Christ.
That's like the opening to this book. They're like, this is what you're in
this is
for.
what you're getting. Like, when people die, they die. You know, But yeah, the Parasite Queen does that. But yeah, he's lucky in that he had the blessing of chastity. He has a connection with it because of Floan. Floan can protect him from spiritual shit.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's so many layers of coincidences, but it's like...
The Arcus Spirit, which is the most broken... It's the actual MC item, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
And it comes to him halfway through the book because of the connection with Floan. And saving a person that should have died, you know, everything amalgamated for him to survive this fight, and it messes over the Parasite Queen.
Like, the Parasite Queen made such an incredible hard read, and just got nothing for it. Nothing. Oh, man.
And, like, where we are at, like, the chapter we're at, we're seeing the other side, the 30 minutes before they resurrect the World Tree. So for all we know, they could play it out, and it could be another masterstroke here from the Queen, who hard reads again that something bad is happening, and pushes her people forward faster.
Yeah, no, it's...
Because, like, it could be a situation like The Watchmen where, yeah, I destroyed the world 30 minutes ago. You know? Like, it is what it is.
This has been over.
This is a book that has more than once had me being like, man, he's been doing this for a long time. Wasn't that like a pretty pressing time issue? And then like you find out that like 2 villages have been completely destroyed, and all the and these people that you cared about are dead now because he wasn't doing the thing.
Yeah.
Ah, jeez.
But
so like, yeah, it's entirely plausible that despite him having this huge success, that they're still royally fucked back in Earth Prime. But like, we'll see.
there's also like,
I guess Paradise, not
Do you
Earth.
feel like the time was wasted, or is it more satisfying just watch all the machinations like do
Oh
nothing?
no, it was awesome.
Oh, no,
it's
that's
one of the most
satisfying.
enjoyable thing that's happened in the book, honestly.
it's satisfying seeing all of the machinations happen, but you got to realize we have to suffer through a lot of like stupid harem bullshit to get to that point. Like, example, one of the coolest things happening, right? There's this character named Roselle, and she is a person who created her own brand of magic because her mother was from a different like an invading alien, like the Angels that started the Federation, from another area. She's come down, created her own form of magic, doing a bunch of stuff, right? Hated the Empire so much, she created a dream world and put her soul in it so she wouldn't die, to wait on someone to absorb her energy and spread her curse. Her dream curse that kills people in their nightmares so she can destroy the Empire that was holding back women and holding back her magic.
Ironically, it got destroyed before she ever found a disciple.
Like, how is the Empire gone? Yeah, the Empire died 100 years ago. It died in like 5 years.
It died to the parasites.
But yeah, he agrees to help her. This is where he gained the Arcus Spirit and shit. But he agreed to find her people to inherit her sorcery. So he gets these the Queen of Ava.
Oh god, so many chapters about Ainuni.
Yeah.
And she's gonna be cool later on, but like, fuck.
But yeah, these two characters, the Queen and
Roselle, Uni.
yeah, Uni. Yeah. Uni's working on a way of literally breaking the way magic works and plane travel works because of her harem connection to Seo Jihu.
Yeah, no. He did his normal, I'm existing around women because this is what I think is a normal, acceptable way to live and behave around other humans. And so she falls in love or thinks he's fallen in love, and then like she's like, well, I don't know how to respond to this, but also he has changed my life immeasurably for the better, so like I guess maybe I'll give it a shot.
Like, and that it seems to be the thing that inspires the women around him. Like and men, by the way, and men too, because being around Seo Jihu somehow pushes them to the limits.
Well, yeah, they have to outdo him somehow so that the women will like them.
Well, it's not even that. Like, I think it's a different, outside of Hugo, I think it's a different thing. Hugo's would be the only dude who is motivated because he wants the women that Seo Jihu have throwing himself.
Hugo's opening scene was also him getting filleted openly on a wagon too. So
and then fucking the chick in front of him. That's the thing that happened.
Who then dies because she lied about her rank,
and he looted her body.
And he was so furious about not about her dying or failing, but about her lying because it meant that they couldn't it's like, oh, you couldn't actually scout, and now we have an attack from this garbage, this useless garbage I could have easily destroyed if you had just told me it was there. But you're trash. You're fucking trash, corpse on the ground. Now give me the money I gave you back.
He explains to him, he's like, this is how it works. And he thinks that Seo at first is lying about being a rank 1 warrior because he has a stash of like a rank 3, right?
And really, really good equipment.
And really, really good equipment. But like, he's like, I can't believe people would lie about their class. It's life or death out here, man. Clearly she was just hit rank 2. She said she was rank 3. She didn't even have this school. She couldn't even read traces. How dare her?
Just like the actual fury he had in the middle of that fight was
that puts you in danger. That's like a soldier lying about their qualifications.
Here's the gross part. But he's like, oh, at least I got a free poke, and he gets his money back that he gave her to suck his stuff and fuck her, and gets her money out, and he hands him a gold.
He just GTA 5's it.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Because why waste it, right? Like.
Man, I was on board for Team Hugo, but
Hugo's good people though.
No, Hugo is actually a good dude. That's the funny part.
Hugo's good people. It's just how this world is, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Like Hugo is like one of the best, like one of the few male characters that seems to live a long time. He's like this big black dude
to
that's
be
a
fair,
barbarian that's dope.
He was trained by Zhang Maldong, which is a very good benefit in staying alive.
Jay Maldong is so cool.
Oh yeah, totally.
Jay Maldong is the old man who is famous for being the master trainer.
He's fucking Coach Kamigawa.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
That's why he's known for. Like he's world renowned. Every person he trains is guaranteed to be a big deal.
They refer to people that he's trained, not only them, but almost everyone that he's actually trained as true high rankers when they become high rankers. Like people that have developed their own skills and actually know their stuff, as opposed to people that just like barely qualified and got the blessing of the gods and bought all their skills with contribution points.
Because that matters. That matters. Buying skills with contribution points lowers your artificial. It's like in Golden Dragon where you get gods that like get someone's spark.
Yeah, the difference between absorbing a spark and
understanding
ascending it naturally.
Yeah. And
or just kind of bottlenecks you.
Yeah. But like at the end of the day though, some of the spells are like super hard to learn. Like some of the spells are like impossible to learn too. So once you get to like rank 5, you gotta go, well, I'm at the point now where I can look into stuff that I could never learn naturally.
I do appreciate the realistic leveling strategies that the people around him talk about him having and like him having to like use and do like it's cool how much theory crafting on training they do in the novel.
Because like potential, right? Like potential.
All right, but I want to actually I think we've pretty much given a pretty good idea of what the book is, but before we go, I really want to talk about two things. One, I'm going to mention right here because I forgot about it. The thief that had eyes, the guy that was a bandit leader that was doing like shady shit, and our main character showed up and it was like, "Hey, don't ever do this again, and I won't kill you. I won't hunt you down and kill you."
That
and he's
guy
like,
needs to get recruited ASAP, by the way.
And that guy was like,
yeah,
no, this is a real situation. If I don't do this, he will kill me. I'm going to change my life right now. And then he does.
I love that. That's the best.
Is a guy who's probably going to rank up off pure wits. Because that, like Kim Hanna was like, that guy That guy was impressive just off raw wits. Like someone who has 0 in every stat but wits.
And is still outperforming most of his peers.
Outperforming most people. He has avoided death of the curse. He got the night. He ran into the people because he was abducting.
That dude is just savvy.
Survived the nightmare curse. Everyone else around him died.
Yeah, he realized he was
Captain
like
Jack Sparrow.
basically. Yeah, no, I think that's actually kind of the vibe they were going for with him.
I don't want to piss these dudes off. So how about this? You take this. I'm gonna sell it to you for 30 gold. Wink, wink, and then hands him 20 gold. So he would buy it from him, so he could get in their good graces.
Yeah, no, gold's like worth a fuck ton in this economy, by the way. Oh god, but I just had to mention him because amen for that character. Finally, someone who did it.
Who's the other? You said you had
the
two?
other important thing is actually what happens at 126. Like, I want to talk about the banquet and like why that is a relevant change in the story.
What happened at the banquet?
So the banquet, I'm going to give just like a little bit of backstory on what the banquet is. The banquet is like an event that's held every 2 years by the gods, originally intended to power up Earthlings. Because remember, Earthlings are being invited here to fight a war on behalf of Paradise. So the more strength they have, the more able they are to do their jobs. So the first banquet happened. It was a relatively peaceful affair. You know, when you like, as you get farther in it, you get the chance to have wishes answered, and you can get like really powerful equipment. Even if you don't get like the best stuff, you still get really high tier magical equipment.
It's called the unperfect wish.
Yeah, like the discordant wishes or something.
Discordant wishes. Yeah.
So like, there's all this stuff that can happen. You also get contribution points for participating, so it's a way to like level up, especially if you're bottlenecked at the top of a rank or something like that. But it is dangerous. There's a chance of dying, but like every year it's gotten more and more dangerous, apparently.
Progressively.
So the main character, our Soljago, up to this point, has been like interesting. His powers have been interesting, and because of like the future vision stuff and his ability to kind of like cheese his way through some stuff with that.
He's also been like stereotypical MC up until this point. Like he was
almost stereotypical Japanese MC.
goody two shoes up until this point.
And that's really like kind of the weakness of the novel up until that point. But like the reason why 126 is the answer is because he comes to a decision at that point where he's like, I am not going to be a person who like sits around and waits for other people to do things. And I'm not going to care about how my actions affect other people.
He has a conversation. I like one of my favorite stuff right before 126.
And yet somehow becomes way more humanitarian after doing that.
He has a conversation with one of the leaders, one of the groups, one of the people he respects. It's this rank 5 archer. I forgot his. He's a Japanese archer. He's a Japanese archer, rank 5. He's running from the mob. He's trying to do his own thing, but he's good people. He's a good leader. He's really experienced. Kazuki, right? And Kazuki's like, I would say his third mentor after his like his third mentor now. But he has a conversation with Kazuki about leadership and how they would take care of it and how he took care of his group, right? And what he should do and how he can convince people to get through this without, everyone dying. And he has it explained. It's like, I wish I had the paper out because the exact words he says to him stuck with the main character because there's different ways of he explained the styles of leadership. Charismatic leadership, people you were able to get through it via your gift of gab, but that's not something that you're gifted at, which is why it was so hard for you to get through that part of leadership. And he suddenly realized, I need to do what I can do as a leader. So there was a person who was in his group beforehand now during this discordant wish thing that's causing mad trouble and messing up the grouping he's trying to set up for us to get through the wish thing. Her name is Audrey
Basler.
Audrey Basler.
Sure.
And she started causing all kinds of trouble.
And has been. Like, she got put in his, like, grouping in, like, the first part and was, like, constantly fucking with them.
Almost, like Audrey Basler was about to pull that group and get everyone but the strong killed, including her quote-unquote prince, which is Seojiu. She sees him as a joke. Good to look at, strong, but he's mentally a joke to her, right? Our prince.
Because he has Japanese MC
because he
mentality.
wanted to save everybody and do all this other crap, right?
Sure.
But come to find out, he ended up being right later.
Yeah, he did not be right.
Everyone.
But that's because the banquet is about fucking strengthening Earthlings, and everyone takes it as an opportunistic bullshit Lord of the
kill
Flies
everybody.
thing. So the gods are like, well, if that's what you're gonna do, we're just gonna use this as a meat grinder to take out shitty people.
Yeah, we're just gonna use it to kill garbage.
So then they made the events intentionally punish people that made backstabby choices.
Okay.
But they're going through it, and Audrey's about to mess up this truce he just did between the sides to weaken the strong and all that other stuff, right? So he just snaps on a possible harem member. He just snaps.
Yeah, no,
on
just
her.
like beats her fucking face
Beats
in.
the dog shit out of this girl. Like reading it was so cathartic because he's just pounding.
And like she tried to get up a few times, and he's like, "Oh no, go back down, you fucking bitch."
You're like, you're gonna realize your place here.
And like, I don't say that in the sense of she was an awful, awful
legitimately
human.
being a bitch.
Yeah, like that, and actively stopping the good for many people for no reason other than her own self-satisfaction.
Yeah, and getting people killed. Like, he beats the dog shit out of her, turns her into a dog, and then lets her know, if you act up at all, I'm not only gonna beat you, I'm gonna kill you slowly. like it is brutal. It's pages of this beating and him explaining to people, this is what will happen if you go against what I say. and he forces the group to cooperate. And if you don't cooperate, me and my group in the triads, my homie in the triads, we will kill everyone who goes against what we say.
Also, we have a lot of connections on Earth.
And we'll kill your family.
Kill your family in Earth, too.
Because why not?
Because you went against what we said.
It's this moment where, like, and it's an emotional confluence of things, because it's that conversation about leadership, and it's like the climax of that conversation. It's the climax of like this question of like, why is this person important? Why is he capable of changing the fate of this incredibly star-crossed story?
He did the anime villain thing where he's like, did you think because I was smiling and I was nice that I was weak or a pushover? No, I just wanted to get through this with no one dying. And now that people have died, you gotta die. And that was just it was great.
So you would say that was the moment he realized he would become the leader of the Japanese Yakuza. Yeah, like...
That is closer than you would.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
Honestly, yeah,
Yes.
no, he does become the leader of the triads after that sort of.
Yeah, the Chinese mafia.
So you were just a continent, or you were just an island off. Yeah, you're not that far.
Yeah, because that's another thing. Because corporations are in here, organized crime is in here. The cartel in Mexico has people. The mafia has someone. In fact, the leader of a city needs to both control the crime ring and also the legal stuff too. And he wants to be that. From 126 forward, that becomes his goal. It's not just being a member of Carpe Diem. It's not just being a captain. It's creating an organization and changing paradise for the better. Whether I have to kill every Earthling or not, I want to make paradise for the better. Paradise must live for me to be happy. And that becomes his goal. Like, it's real selfish.
Harem bullshit aside, that moment where he left Teresa was actually fucking emotionally touching. Like, it was rough because it was even this moment of like, no, I want this. This is something I love being here. I value and am so grateful for the time that you have fostered me here. But I'm trying to save the world, not your city.
Yeah, this is not about you.
That's a hard thing to say.
No, like she took it real bad too.
But then didn't, because like he also took the time to explain why he couldn't do it there, and it's like because like the representatives and the corporations are strong, their city does stuff and is good and is a desirable place. So there is a strong corporation in place there.
If he set up an organization there, it would end up him coming to blows with the person who trained him, Agnes, and her leader, Cinzia. These people were, at that point in his time, he had no chance, zero chance of going up, and he would just be a slave to them if he stayed there.
Yeah, so
it was the right move.
He went to the city with horrible, weak royalty, and took it over violently.
Violently, like murder, like. Well, it was going to be slowly and methodically, right? And then he saw, like, rape and child
It wasn't even that. It was when the guys came up and were like, assumed like, oh yeah, would you like some of our fine wares, sir?
Or do you prefer the little boys? That's the thing that happens in this too.
And he's like, it was the assumption that he was
I'm
same
of
as
your
them
ilk.
that fucking murdered their entire
And now
organization.
I have to kill all of you.
How dare you? How dare you besmirch my name?
So he went to battle, but also they covered that was a weakness in his character as a leader. They covered that too. The drawback to going to war like that without alerting your allies.
But
They covered that. That was great. That was good writing. Because Hal was like, I went to bat for you. I'm protecting you. You didn't even give me a call. You didn't let us know there's something you're gonna do. You didn't talk to Kim Hanna and go, hey, this is gonna do this. You didn't check to make sure the people who protect who do all of the crafting and the people who don't fight in your group that you need would be safe.
He got bitched at for so long after that he actually spent a long time thinking about and learning how to become an actual corporate leader.
yeah. So like, I like that they like the character grows. It's not like it's almost Grit levels of growth, almost.
I was gonna ask because like a lot of this guy sounds like, or a lot of this story sounds like overgeared, just like pushed to 11 in every direction.
Yeah. It is kind of in like with less of a comedic bent.
Yeah, there's not.
There is
funny.
comedy.
But
it's the
not
comedy
like,
it's like the dark kind of comedy that you have to do to disassociate yourself with the shit that's around
the comedy
you.
of the battlefield.
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
Trench humor.
Ironic, like, I can't believe that happened.
But then again, there's also the bar named Eat, Drink, and Enjoy.
Yeah. It's a strip club. And it is the strip club for most of the thing that they always go to eat, drink, and enjoy. Yeah. Hugo doing a lot of the enjoying. Mm-hmm. Cho Hong doing most of the drinking.
The drinking, yeah. Yeah, they've just got a fucking Amazon on their, like, fucking crew. She's great.
Yeah, Chung Cho Hong is...
She was gonna be a priest, and then she's like, nah, this just too... Like, it started out because the gods were like, you have such potential as a priest. And then she did it for all, and she's like, this is fucking hard, and just switched to warrior.
It's like...
I just want to hit shit.
People are just like, oh yeah, Carpe Diem doesn't have a priest, but you look at Chung's technically a priest, but she's not. She's a warrior. She's a priest that can't heal or buff. She only buffs herself.
She's a whammo from fucking Guild Wars.
Yeah, she's a bonk cleric. I love that.
Yeah, that's what she is. Yeah,
Cleric of the Forge. Let's go.
Yeah.
Well, this sounds like a real fun book, guys. Like
it really is.
You get past the harem bullshit, there's a lot of cool stuff.
And that usually does come in relatively short bursts, and a lot of times is even interspersed with the cool stuff, unfortunately.
Like what's her name? The first chick to officially join the harem. The one that, had her arm fucked up when the dudes were trying to exploit. And she was a person who had like some of the most potential, like a natural genius from a really powerful family.
Yeah.
But like he refuses to tap.
Yi Sola.
Yeah. She's the little sister of the leader, little sister of the primary leader of the Song Young company.
Yeah, she of like the pharmaceutical giant.
Yeah, Song Young Pharmaceutical,
which is also basically the people that brought him in, the people that originally contracted him as a slave, and in this world invited him as.
Yeah, Kim Hanna used her personal invite. And
the gods gave her a golden level seal,
trying to protect him from Song Young Pharmaceuticals from messing him over. But he didn't realize that he saved the little sister in the next in line. Also, that girl can't, like, we see little murmurs of what she's doing. She's like she's called the red-eyed, like, blood slayer barbarian chick because she can't sleep without him being there, right? Because he saved her life from being raped and being brutally destroyed. She lost her arm, like she was gonna die.
She was a torso, and like in a place where meals cost points that you earn by doing dangerous missions. Like she spent all of the points she earned with his help on her medical costs to get to a point where she was stable.
And then,
barely.
And then the little kids that she helped save were killing themselves trying to keep all of them fed, and she's just like hid herself to go and starve to death without them knowing,
so that they could go on and actually survive without her.
And then like one of the bitches from the that survived the tutorial because of what everyone else did that killed people to survive the tutorial, got a bunch of cartel members to come beat her up and rape her. So that's the thing that happens in the story. Like
This
the
just
story
sounds
is
like a
not
dark
like
one,
like
man.
all of the bad shit of Earth permeates its way into paradise.
No, and that's the thing. It's because like people, it's like a Westworld kind of thing where like people don't view their actions as having real consequence over here. So like they don't put limits on their humanity or their ethics or their morality. So it gets really fucked up. And a lot of the worst villains in this book are the Earthlings, which is both one of the best things about the book.
Or like there'll be people who are just like normal human beings. Like they show that the darkness of humans really easy to get to. Get here, normal human being, actually kind of a nice guy, and then the world and people progressively fuck him over, and then lo and behold, he finds himself the leader of an assassination faction that takes all of his enjoyment in raping little angel and fairy boys.
Yeah,
that's a character that thankfully gets his comeuppance.
It's just a person who likes destroying innocence. That's very clear.
But that was like they go through his back. That wasn't who he was, but he doesn't value them as people. So he's like, I guess I'll try it. And like, those are terrible people.
Yeah, no,
and
it sounds like there's a good handful of those in this one.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Well, because he was that bad, what our main character does to that guy, I'm not going to spoil it. Read it because it's cathartic.
It is.
Hell yeah.
That's one of the things is like this series gets very cathartic, especially after 126.
Yeah,
because like it's just he stops being. He starts being the hero, the actual protagonist of the story, and instead of a passive observer of it.
It's like having the thing I like about Hunter x Hunter was you had main characters that aren't necessarily good guys.
Sure.
Yeah. And I like that, right? Like I
God watched pretty coldly as people died sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he was an animal man. Like, animals watch other animals die. Sometimes they kill them, but like
they weren't strong enough. That's their fault.
Yeah.
They could have been stronger.
He even did stuff like, you know how we were watching Kamen Rider Drive, that first episode, and in Drive they did something that I was like, man, if I had that ability, this is what I would do. And then the show did it.
Almost immediately after, yes.
You just get a lot of that in this one?
You get a lot of, after one, you get a
Hell
lot
yeah.
of that. Like,
excellent.
In a world where magical healing exists and there's a piece of shit that deserves a fate worse than death, that happens.
Save some of it we didn't even get to talk about, man. Come on now.
Yeah, I think it's about time for that, to be honest.
It's time for
I know we
hit it.
I think we might have cut the business out.
We hit all of it just now in that little
middle
miniature.
part.
I'm still going to hit them. Okay.
Anyone that's listened to this part already fucking knows all
yeah,
that
you can tweet
Thanks,
us.
James and Yukio Kami again.
Yeah, James and Yukio Kami.
Yukio Kami.
And then also you can tweet us at Tiger Coaster on Twitter or send us an email at tigercoaster@gmail.com or genuinely or tiger.rollercoaster@gmail.com or just come join us on our Discord. It's a cool place filled with cool people. That's where we're most easily reachable, honestly.
Very much the truth.
Yeah. If you were in there, you would know that we're recording this very second as I just reached out to them. Anyway, don't have any reviews to read. That's pretty much the end of the show. What didn't we get to talk about?
Shit. Oh, God. We didn't even get to talk about Undying Diligence.
Oh, yeah.
And that whole fucking scene.
Woo. Yeah. We didn't get to talk about the Archer of, what is it? The Archer of Iron? Or
the Archer of Steel.
Archer of Steel.
Marcel Gionia.
No, Marcel. Dude, he is basically a main character in and of himself. This is any other show. If it was any other book, he would be the MC, okay?
Yeah, no, and that's what I love about this story is that so many of the fucking MCs, so many of the fucking side characters feel like they are the main character of another story.
Yeah, okay. I like that.
Side MCs, yeah.
We got,
who didn't we get to talk about?
We got our Kamina analog. There's a Kamina analog in this novel that you hit. That's the original leader of Carpe Diem. Oh. Everything about him is awesome and also horrifically sad.
Oh, God. I just remembered that.
Yeah.
No!
Who else didn't we get to talk about, or what?
The fact that one of his toughest the 4 toughest battles that they keep referring to over the course of the novel was a battle of survival.
Oh, yeah.
Just against fucking nature.
Oh, yeah. Dude. they go full Bear Grylls in this. Like, we're drinking piss.
Gross.
Yeah.
That scene was actually the moment where I was like, I think Richard was probably enjoying this series. This is brutal.
No, it was super brutal.
Give me one last more. What didn't we get to talk about?
Didn't even get to talk about.
We didn't even get to talk about
The spirit of purity. We talked about the Arcus spirit a lot, but like
I didn't get to talk about Thunder.
Thunder.
Oh, Thunder! It's so good.
See, and there's people who are like listening to this who are like, yes, fucking Thunder, of course.
Talk about Thunder.
Yeah.
Why didn't they talk about Thunder?
Only dwarves
It'll be
can
it'll be
craft
for the
thunder.
real. It'll be for the real and true knights. This was just a little appended knights.
Yeah, I
That's how
guess at
this
some
happens.
point we'll do a Knights when the series is over. Maybe if it's
Well,
if
it
there's
is
enough,
completed.
if there's a point, it is completed, but the translation hasn't been finished as of yet. So.
Anyway, you guys stay safe out there.
Yeah.
Shit, the world's real wild right now, and like, we're glad that you're choosing to spend your time listening to us.
We appreciate it. We hope you're in a place where you feel safe and you can stay there.
We love you.
Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Tiger Roller Coaster Productions. Tigers are scary. You try to get off.